Hi, this is Tom Shanahan. I'm the author of Spiritual Adrenaline, a lifestyle plan to strengthen and nourish your recovery. I'm here today with baseball legend Doc Gooden of the New York Mets, also the New York Yankees, and one of the heroes of the 1986 World Series. He's also someone like me who's open about being a member of the addiction recovery community. Doc Gooden read my book and liked what he read, so he decided to come on and share what he liked and how he thinks others can benefit from the book. Doc, thank you so much for coming out today. Doc, you're someone who's been very open about the fact that you've been in addiction recovery since 1987. You've relapsed, you've come back, and you've done it in the public spotlight. When you pitched in the World Series Championship Mets team back in 1986, you've been very open that you partied the night before the ticker tape parade in Lower Manhattan and you slept through it, or you watched it from your room with the shades drawn as all your teammates were going up the Canyon of Heroes with the ticker tape coming down. So you're someone who's been able to come back from relapse, and I think it's just a regular part of the program for a lot of people. But for those people out there who maybe have just relapsed and don't think they can come back, what's your message?
You can't come back, and I think that's one of the most difficult things. Obviously, we relapse, and then you have two choices. You can continue in addiction and possibly die, or you can jump back on the horse and give it another shot. That night with the parade should have been, but the day before the parade, one of the World Series should have been the happiest day of my life.
You won the World Series in 1986. That day, the next day was the parade.
Oh my gosh!
Wow!
It should have been the happiest day. So I remember celebrating my team after the game, going in the training room, calling my dad, crying on the phone, talking about it.
Wow!
Unfortunately, they called me to my dealer. And I went to get drugs, supposed to came to meet the team after that. Obviously didn't meet the team, the clock started moving. They say, I'm watching the parade the next day on TV, still getting high, and I carried that shame and guilt around me forever. Yeah. And one of the things that people struggle with, that I struggle with, was knowing that shame and guilt is basically like having a reservation to go back out. My family forgave me, the team forgave me, the good Lord forgave me, but I didn't want to forgive myself. I wanted to hold on to that, so I had to dig deep. And it was painful, because that's something that I can't redo, but I can start from that day and move forward and share it on what it felt like and use myself as an example that you can get back.
You and I were speaking before we taped, went live, and the reality is when you relapse, it's a front page story in the New York Post. It's a front page story in a tabloid. And so people, that's a tough thing to deal with. So for people out there who don't have that kind of heat on them or spotlight on them, but just think they can't do it, what are the top three things you recommend for people when they're coming back from a relapse based on your experience?
I think once you come back, you have to surrender. And what I mean by that, surrender everything. My problem has always been I want to surrender certain things. The things I wanted to hold on to, it's the ones that kept me in trouble. And in the rooms, they talk about surrendering everything, getting around positive people who care about you, and someone you can talk to about however you're feeling. One of my problems was they're going to judge me. Nobody feels the way I feel. But then once you open up, you'll be surprised. That person or the people in the program can relate to exactly what you're going through. And picking up that phone was one of the hardest things for me to do. And I would say, once you get to a point you can put the phone, tell how you really feel it, then you get better and you start to grow.
Awesome. So it is possible to come back from relapse, and it's not a death sentence or the end of any of your attempts to get sober, correct?
100%, and it does get better. Day to day, it gets better, and you'll feel better. Because once you start self-medicating, as I once did, things obviously got worse, the consequences got worse.
Doc, thank you so much. If you're interested in learning more about what Doc is doing these days, you can go to goodenbrands.com. Doc, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.